Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Geeking Out podcast. I am the Athletic Geek, joined by.
Organoid Zero!
So, first of all, I want to apologize, but we had to take a little break.
Yeah.
Um,
Sickness sucks.
Sickness that somehow goes from Southern Illinois to Wisconsin, and it just transferred back over the microphone. And then on top of that, Southern Illinois is dealing with a big batch of bad storms, so we just never really could fit it together. So we took a couple weeks off. And full disclosure, we are recording this on April the 4th.
Yes.
This will be getting uploaded in a very edited fashion the week of WrestleMania 41. So, but just we wanted to get
There's
this
only
one in.
7 matches currently, and we don't expect that to stay that way.
No. So we're gonna. This is gonna this is the only time that we can get together and talk about some of the big matches that have been announced.
Yeah.
But the other matches and predictions, well, we'll go from there. You will hear our thoughts overall. It's just gonna be one of them videos. It's gonna be one of them podcasts. So
Yes.
just gonna warn you now. So WrestleMania 41. What are you thinking about the build up so far? I know, in the era of complete and total tribalism, this is according to a real wrestling fan that knows something about wrestling, that appreciates wrestling. Wrestling, if you're a wrestling fan, this is the worst thing that's ever happened, and you should be ashamed of yourself, and have your fan card revoked if you are
Yes.
at all interested in anything that's on this awful card, or it's the greatest thing that ever happened. And if you cannot see the greatness of all the money that WWE is making, then you're just a stupid mark that,
Essentially.
is beneath us. So,
Yep.
and here I am going to the show, and I'm excited, but I'm not going to act like this is like I last year was built up better. I'll
Yeah.
fully say
Oh,
that.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. I agree with that 100%. You hear no objections from me.
But I still think there's some. I think it's good, not great. Again, wearing my Notre Dame stuff again. It's last year's Notre Dame football season rather than this year's Notre Dame football season. It's solid, but it's there's a clear drop off between where where the team was, how the team did this year and how the team did last year.
Yeah.
And there was a clear drop. I've flipped around. There's a clear drop off from how they're doing, how WWE has built up WrestleMania this year compared to how well it was last year, even with the valleys and the potential riots we had on our hands last year.
Yeah. I'll give them credit. They did try to build it up well. It's just that certain superstars didn't work well in spots that they were supposed to work well in.
Yeah, and that's unfortunately. And I'm a Rock fan, but that's going to be the problem with WrestleMania, I think, for a long time, until The Rock can't physically. So you can't think about him doing matches anymore. That's going to be a problem. What's Rock doing?
And that's going to be the problem too. Now that he's with TKO, he doesn't have to do matches anymore, but he can still think he's important enough to need to be on the screen making matches.
I mean, I get why that frustrates people, but I can also see, people like The Rock, man.
I'll give them credit. This time makes more sense than last time's.
Yeah.
Hey
so,
guys, I just want to make sure we sell more tickets for this already sold out WrestleMania. That's why I'm doing this.
And a lot of things that people complain, they complain about the prices, and I'm with that, because I bought tickets and the prices are ridiculous. But I'm also gonna say this: have you ever tried to go to events in Vegas? Have you ever tried to get a ticket to the Super Bowl or the NBA Finals?
Can't even imagine.
Or any big event? They're expensive.
Yeah.
Okay, do I think that that's good? That's good for us fans? No, no. I'm not like that fucking blinded by business. But I dropped out, but I was a business major. I'm like, look, it's when you got, and you can get on your internet high horse and go, it's not the biggest event because Double or Nothing exists. It's not the biggest event because Dynasty's happening. It's not the biggest event because la di da di da. It is. Okay, maybe not in your world, and you're welcome to having your own world and your own thoughts, but it is the biggest wrestling show of the year. And a WWE's never been about helping the little guy, so they're going to, if they have the biggest event, they're going to try and market themselves and be seen on the same level as the Super Bowl, as the World Series, as the Stanley Cup Finals, as the NBA Finals. Any big event that costs a lot of money, that is the epitome, they're going to go with it. I don't like it, but I also don't like being told you're here to help the little guy and you jack prices up too.
Yeah.
Tony Khan, sorry.
Yeah.
That offends me more than WWE just going like, look, we're the biggest and we're going to charge you as such. Giving a standard of we're here to help the fans and still upcharging way more than maybe you should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I know where I stand with this empire of money. Like, I know I'm a number. They've pretty well told me I'm a fucking number.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. This other company says, you're not a number, you're important. But then when I go to buy tickets, it's like, oh, why is it $300 when, it's normally, last time it was $150. Oh, why is it, you're supposed to be helping the little guy, right? This is supposed to be against what you stand for. Why are meet and greets at their convention, triple the price of what I paid at a regular wrestling convention for this same guy, but it's the AEW convention, which that's something else. The Fanatics, I'm going to one day of WWE World, which is put on by Fanatics.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I can imagine.
It's like the Fanatics Fest. I paid money for an autograph, just an autograph, a premium item autograph, because that's all they had left, for Stone Cold Steve Austin. It costs roughly as much as what it cost to meet Peyton Manning to get his autograph at Fanatics Fest in New York last year.
Holy shit.
But I also I was talking with the guy at work, and he said, like, well, if you compare Stone Cold Steve Austin and where he ranks in the world of pro wrestling to where Peyton Manning ranks in the world of football, they're kind of,
yeah,
they're close. I mean, I'd say more, obviously Peyton Manning's more popular than Stone Cold, but if you want to look at like, this is our guy.
Also, depending on who you're talking to, you could meet a person and chances are they know both of them just as well.
Yeah.
The average white man in America.
Or even, white man, anybody that's our age, regardless of race, if you like wrestling and or if you're aware of wrestling, you're aware of football, you're aware of what a superstar that Peyton Manning is, and you're aware of what a superstar that Stone Cold Steve Austin is.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
I don't love it. I mean, I'm spending, most of the things I'm going to WrestleCon, where prices aren't great, but they're more acceptable.
Well, that's what it was like with getting off on a tangent. Before COVID, I'd stopped going to conventions because of COVID. I went to one in 2019. That was the GalaxyCon that I went to. The last GalaxyCon they had in Minneapolis, the only one, because apparently it didn't go over well with the people in the city. But which God, I hate it because there's so much good stuff at GalaxyCons. But
I've been to one, and it was Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah, and then I was like $30 for an autograph, and then like $30 for a picture, or like 20 for whatever, and you half it. Then all of a sudden, I go to my first convention post-COVID. Autograph $60.
Yeah.
And additional pictures like 30. Like, whoa, what the hell?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then but I went to for 2 years in a row, and this is a great convention for wrestling, a Squared Circle Expo in Indianapolis. I haven't gone in a few years, but I went to the first two they had in 2021, 2022. Amazing. I mean, I've done a whole podcast about my experiences at Squared Circle. I can't recommend them enough. And I remember meeting Um, Hangman Page, AEW champion at the time, just had like the night before had a brutal match with Adam Cole. Like fuck, it was. Um, his prices were 40, 40, 60. 40 for an autograph on like a picture, 40 for a picture with them, 60 for a combo. The combo goes up to 80 if you had like a belt or a figure.
Yeah.
That's all cool. Then you go to, we looked up, we went to All Out in Chicago and we looked into the Fan Fest that year. Hangman Page was like $125.
Holy shit.
The prices went. And it's one of those things, like I said, that's where kind of the whole, like, why don't you just keep it normal? You know what I mean? Now, especially when you're putting on the convention, you maybe you could have, you can afford to maybe, you're not trying to, you're not taking a cut of their money. Like this is their obligation. Why are you charging more? If anything, you should charge less, or at least be on the same thing. So that's why, like, when I hear why would WWE do this? It's like, why is AEW doing it?
Yeah.
They're not adding me about trying to really love me. They're just saying,
that's the price.
Yeah, that's our price. If you don't like it, go do something else.
Yep.
We don't need you as much because we're the biggest. And then the one that's like, we thrive on your support, but we're adding a, $60 upcharge. That shit rubs me the wrong. That's why I don't buy into the for the fans revolution anymore when it comes to AEW. Right? That are one of many reasons, but that's a big one. But anyway, predictions with the 7 matches. At least when we record right now, the 7 match we have so far. Go ahead and get us started.
All right. I'm going to start you with the two that it's one of the two. The second I knew who the Royal Rumble winners were, I knew how their matches were going to go. And we can start either way. I'll start with the obvious one. Even though he's getting better, there's moments where I'm kind of just like, I need to see something more. I can guarantee you now, this will be the most pointless WrestleMania match on the planet if Jay does not win.
Yeah.
This is something like 4 times already.
Yeah. This is one. Jay, I like Jay.
I do too.
But he was not my first choice to win the Royal Rumble. But I'm going to say, when I saw everybody bitch about this, I said, when you're as popular as Jay was, if they didn't try to do something with him, that would be like that would be like your source that you would cite of, this is why, they don't use new talent. They don't use new talent. This is bad. This is why they're bad creative. And then they did it, and then it became like, well, but it's bad because he's a bad wrestler. Because we have determined he's a bad wrestler. I don't think he's the best wrestler in the company, much less. But when you're getting those reactions, if you gotta roll with, you gotta throw him a bone, and this is the bone they threw him. Now it's up to Jay to sink or to sink or swim. And if he sinks, they
tried.
They tried. Like that's what you're supposed to do. Sorry, he doesn't fall in line with your hipster version of what a good wrestler is. It should have been, and I like these guys, it should have been Kevin. It should have been Sammy. It should have been whoever that we are determined, No, it should have been who's most over. He was most over. And if it wasn't him, and then eventually he grew disenfranchised, you'd been out there giving him all kinds of fucking hugs.
Yeah.
Like fucking legit. just I'm just calling how I fucking see it. If you think I'm being a hater or being pro WWE, I ain't gonna change your mind. But that's
no, like
to quote somebody I don't like. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Yeah, the legit only problem that I have with Jay recently is promos. I need to not hear the word yeet 500 times. That's my legit only problem I have with him. When he was the right-hand man, his promos were off the chart phenomenal.
Right.
And like I've heard people complain, yeah, well, Cody says whoa. Like, he says it during his intro. I've never heard Cody use whoa as a part of his promos. And like, Jay is super over. Jay knows how to handle himself in the ring. He is a very rock style wrestler where he is not the most technically savvy person. He knows how to put on a show. He gets fans behind him. He knows how to pop off the moments. He's got the presentation. The legit only problem I have is, like I said, you could use Yeet about 4 times less in your promos and you're great. You do need to. He has the not as. I think the Young Bucks are worse. I need to see. The only thing that I would see as a match improvement with him is the super kick a little bit less.
Yeah.
Just a touch. And he's getting different moves. When I saw him bust out a Poison Rana at the Royal Rumble, I about shit myself. I was like, where did that come from? That was awesome. So he's getting more stuff. He's learning. He really is. He's another one of those people also, by the way. I love Edge. Not as much as some of the stuff he's involved in now. But almost every person that started doing Spear after Edge did it better than him.
Yeah.
So, but I, like, at this point, I don't know if you'll agree with me. Gunther's IC reign has been better than his world title reign.
Oh, yeah. I still think his world title reign's been good. It's just not... That's the problem when you have 2 world championships is one's clearly the secondary world champion, and I know according to real wrestling fan IWC logic, Gunther should be, or I don't even call him Gunther, he's Walter still.
Yeah.
Which, first of all, that doesn't make you cool for still calling him that.
It doesn't.
Like you think it makes you cool, it doesn't. He's carved his own legacy as Gunther. I remember when I went to WrestleMania 35 and went to NXT TakeOver and sent somebody a video of Walter's entrance. Somebody who's not interested in wrestling goes, "There's a wrestler named Walter? That's kind of dumb, isn't it?" So I get it. You have that attachment, but still, there's a method to the madness, and whatever.
And plus, they want to trademark it in Walter's real name.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of steps around
it. Doesn't seem like he's too bad about it. And Triple H is the head booker now, so I think if he wanted to go back to being Walter, he would have gone back to being Walter. But no, it's the downside of it is, when you have Cody Rhodes, who shouldn't be the guy, but he is. Let's be real.
He very much is.
The other world champion looks secondary. That's the problem with 2 world champions. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that's the problem.
Yeah, but no, I don't see. I don't see a world where they make the decision to have Gunther win here. That'd be the most.
Yeah, that's the problem. They've booked themselves in the proverbial corner because Gunther shouldn't lose the title, but Jay, I don't know. I said, you had to take the chance. You had to take that chance. If you didn't, it would be a reason of this is why they don't take chances. They play too safe. A very valid criticism of WWE. Well, now they didn't play safe, and now people are mad about it because, well, you're not supposed to play it safe, but you're supposed to, give. You're supposed to let like Ludwig Kaiser win it instead. Sami Zayn should have won it instead. I've come to the point now, that's why I don't engage and do wrestling podcasts as much. People already have their opinion. Like at the time of this recording, AEW Dynasty is this weekend. AEW Dynasty to an AEW fan is already better than everything. Like, it hasn't even happened yet, but it's already better than everything WrestleMania is going to do. Okay? WWE fans, WrestleMania is already better than AEW Dynasty. So, like, there's no point even having the conversations anymore. Unless, like, outside of a select few fans, there's no real point in having this conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with Jay. Mainly, well, more on that later. We're going to need one happy moment this weekend.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
We're gonna need
Yeah.
something for fans to be happy about.
Yeah.
But real fans wouldn't be happy about it because Gunther Walter didn't win. So if you're a real fan, you'd be upset still.
Yeah. If we want to go on the other one, the second I saw Charlotte win, it would be again very dumb to have her beat Tiffany.
It would be. I'm gonna say this. I think Charlotte gets way too much hate. I don't think she's a better. I don't think she's as the best, but I also think she's kind of in that. She's like Cody Rhodes. I think Cody's a better wrestler than Charlotte, but she's like Cody Rhodes. She's cool to hate. She's a legacy. You sound smart by hating Charlotte Flair.
Here's the thing, though. I understand it more when I hear it for Charlotte than Cody for one specific reason. She should not have as many title wins
No.
as her dad within the amount of time she has. When every title win she's had, if you add them up, I think Gunther has more time as the IC champion.
Yeah, that is. But keep in mind, a lot of that was also in the hot potato Vince McMahon era. With
and
that's the
why
problem.
it irritates me. It's like, why? I hate when you stat pad someone and then someone will go, well, of course she's great. She has 9,000 world title runs. I don't care if
Right.
you equal up to a week, but like she's still good. I'm not saying she isn't, but it gets to a point of where someone else could have had this match and it still be good.
Yeah, I do think if Tiffany wins, it's a good thing. Like, you know, it's the new guard beating the old guard.
Exactly.
You know, and it's fine.
And it's kind of doing what I got really irritated about if they don't do it with what happened with Rhea and Charlotte the first time. Rhea's NXT champion.
Now, I was okay with that one. Just because one, I feel like you needed like Rhea shouldn't have won, right? Like you needed something to build towards for Rhea. You know, like that was kind of like the, you know, eventually when Rhea, you know,
eventually, but she was kind of buried for no reason for a while.
And I also could see them going, hey, we're in a ratings war on Wednesdays. Let's get a big, you know, in theory, a big star to win this belt. Let's put this belt on. The ball was it was a good play call. The ball was, you know, they ran that play well. It's just they failed to capitalize after they ran that play.
Mm-hmm.
You got the first down with it, but you still failed to score.
Yeah. In this situation, I'm going to feel, and I'm not saying she is, but that feels like, hey, if she wins this, feels like, hey, Charlotte hasn't had a title in a while. Like, Tiffany needs to look strong here. And the second she won, I was like, they're either going to do the thing they need to, where she wins, and the new important blonde one, I'm not saying that that's what Tiffany is, but in this situation, there's a lot of similarities between the two of them, that either they make Tiffany look good like they should, or they start getting Charlotte closer to breaking her dad's record.
Right.
Which we don't. It'll be cool if Cena does it. We don't need that to be everything when someone gets close, because Randy's also like 3 away, so we don't need to start thinking about that. It's like,
right.
But they'll put on a good match. They will.
Yeah,
she always puts on good matches.
Yeah, I she's not the best. Like, I'll take her over Sasha / Mercedes.
I will too.
You know, I'll take Charlotte over them. I think of the 4 horsewomen, she's number 3. Solid number 3.
Yeah. As of recently, I would put Becky as 1 and Bayley at 2. Becky, just overall personality-wise, fucking took a whoo as soon as she got her nose busted by Nia. That just skyrocketed. It was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like it's got to be it's got to be Tiffany, but who knows? Like, I get the whole, like, oh God, it's Charlotte, but I also think that she's also lost a lot of matches that don't get talked about because that's not a good narrative.
Yeah. I'll tell you the thing that I wanted to happen, because it's never happened. I wanted an in-storyline forced move up from NXT because Roxanne won.
Yeah.
And Roxanne could put on a hell of a match. Now, give
Yeah,
or take, she got moved up anyway. But I thought that would have been really cool. Like, no, you need to move me up because I won this event. No one thought an NXT wrestler was going to win.
yeah.
But it is what it is. Roxanne's still doing good. And
All right, so what's next?
all right. Well, we can deal with the one that we're not sure what it's going to be by the time it happens. I have a feeling that this is going to end up being a triple threat match somehow, and I really want Io Sky to win.
Yeah, we're pretty sure it's going to be there. This should main event. Like I'll say, I think this should be the main event, and not the CM Punk match. But that just is what it is. I don't like it. I vehemently disagree with it, but that's what they're doing. And again, you know, if an AEW fan wants to get on a high horse about this, hey, why wasn't Tony Storm Mariah May the main event of Revolution? You can be mad at the situation all you want as a wrestling fan,
Yeah.
but if AEW is your like high ground, you don't have the high ground because they dropped the ball big time, not letting Tony Storm and Mariah have their main event. So this is a problem from both companies right now of not letting their most popular female wrestler, Rhea and Mariah, get main events when they deserve it.
Yeah, and also just the rules and like they need to get rid of the clause in the Royal Rumble because this year neither of the winners of the Royal Rumble are main eventing.
No.
They just need to say you win a title match now because that's
Yes.
starting to become a giant lie.
Yes. I mean, it's happened in the past. I mean, you've had Edge didn't main event WrestleMania when he won the Royal Rumble. Rey Mysterio didn't.
Mm-hmm.
The Undertaker didn't.
Yeah.
John Cena didn't.
Yeah.
So again, it's like
don't say it guarantees a main event. If
it doesn't. It doesn't guarantee it guarantees a title shot, but
but they always
you literally have some legitimate legends that did not get the main event at WrestleMania when they won the Royal Rumble. So, they're not picking on these new people. Like
I'm not
when
saying
the
not.
yeah, I'm talking about like from the hipster perspective. It's like, well, I mean, the fucking Undertaker didn't get a main event at WrestleMania. Yeah. John Cena didn't get a main event at WrestleMania when they both won the Royal Rumble. So yeah.
I'm just saying they need to change that.
It's an overall problem.
They need to change that vernacular when someone wins and it solves the problem. Because every year they say, you won a main event at WrestleMania. No, you won a title shot. Change that vernacular and this problem is solved.
Yep.
But I want Io to win. I really think Io is an unbelievably talented wrestler. And I'm not saying this because I don't like Rhea, because I do. I think Rhea should take a little bit of a break. And come back because she would be hot as hell when she came back, and she's been involved in every single feud with that title since she won it, even when she wasn't in the feud for the title.
I'm with your logic, and I don't disagree with it, but I also have the other logic of when you're the best in the division, go. There's all these people saying that Cody shouldn't have won the Royal Rumble, and Cody shouldn't have won the main event at WrestleMania. It's like, well, when you're the hottest star in the division, go. No. So it's kind of like the same logic. It's like, well, but Rhea is, so go with her.
I get that, but when she's in these title matches, she's making the people that are supposed to be the world champion look like imbeciles.
And Rhea should be a WrestleMania main eventer. That's kind of the big thing. Like Rhea Ripley is the most dominant female wrestler since China. She is on that level.
I get that. It's just that we want to build wrestlers too. We want to get that, and I get it. It's just I felt like I was watching that Rhea Liv rivalry for 15 years.
Oh yeah, that was
So I'm like, and then as soon as their rivalry was over, it was Liv and blank, but also Rhea's there. I'm okay with having Rhea be involved in matches, but I think Rhea can be important without being in a title match.
Yeah. Oh, it's kind of it's the rock hard place kind of
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
you know.
So it's fine. Again, she's another person that always puts on a good match. I get that 100%. Just, I would like Io to win. I would not be shocked if she gets interjected in it and she does win. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but my heart wants Io. My head says Rhea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next match.
If we go, is it just? Wait, we're missing one. Oh yeah. If it happens,
Because there's rumors it may not.
I see KO finally getting a win.
Yeah. Well, I must say this. If this match happens, we're talking about KO and Randy Orton, and there's a rumor and innuendo at the time of this recording that KO's hurt and won't be able to do it. I think Orton's going to win because I think that Orton's going to get a title shot at Backlash in St. Louis.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can see that too. And I am remembering now that he did beat Sammy. I forgot about that. So he did get a win recently. Because he is the proverbial punching bag of WWE when he gets to a pay-per-view at most times.
Yeah. But I think Randy wins this one. And the story would call for Randy to win this one. If KO cannot go, I really think they should I really think they should do a WrestleMania 38 with Cody and bring in Aleister Black. Have a big re-debut at WrestleMania. Either him or Rusev. You know, those are two names that are
pop big.
Yeah, those are two rumored names that are supposedly heading back.
Is contracted to anyone?
I don't know. Yeah.
Because if you have him come out and announce Rusev Day and Rusev comes out, that building might explode.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of those two should come back, or maybe a surprise next. If not him, then get Carmelo Hayes on the card.
Do that definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I know like it'd be bad to have him lose, but him being at WrestleMania would be a good thing. So if you can't get that match, I say go with one of those three options.
Yeah, because I don't even know who else it could be if it wasn't them. Honestly, it could be. Again, they could pivot and set up a match like tonight.
Yeah, we're recording this on a Friday. SmackDown hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, so if he truly is injured, they could pivot and change it tonight. So
yeah,
I mean, for crying out loud, it could somehow be in Ray Phoenix. I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Which Ray Phoenix might be. No, I should say sorry. Penta's probably gonna end up having a match with Braun Breaker.
Yeah, probably Braun, and it'll probably be him. Braun. Probably throw Dominic and Finn in there too.
Yeah.
Something like that. Once it gets announced, we'll post the addendum. Yeah. Same thing with the U.S. title, but there'll probably be a match there. It'll get posted. It's gonna be choppy, but we're gonna get it. You're gonna hear what we think.
Yeah.
So anyway, next match.
AJ and Douchebag.
I think Douchebag's gonna win.
Yeah,
just because he does. I will say this: like, I don't like Logan Paul.
I don't either.
I don't like him, but I'm also gonna say this: the man gets it.
Yeah,
I got to give the devil his due. He gets it.
Yep.
And I've said this before, and I'll say it again: not condoning anything Logan Paul did. I don't like him. I think he's a douchebag. But if you're gonna hold somebody's past against him, there's a couple best wrestlers in the world, or at least one best wrestler in the world in AEW that has a dark past too, that had some things come out on him that, hey, just saying, be if you're ethically, if you want to use ethics, be consistent. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
Yeah. If you don't have forgiveness and don't have second chances, cool, I get it. Hey, I get it. I understand your logic, but be that way across the board.
Yep. 100%.
But the one thing I do like about this for AJ is maybe this will get him a little more mainstream exposure because AJ deserves that. I don't like it. I'd want anybody else in there with AJ, but if anybody can. you know, you take the fact that Logan Paul's a piece of shit off, it might be a good match.
Yeah, absolutely. And the sad part is, and I hate this, he took to wrestling really well. Like, he trained well and did it well because he's a naturally athletic person.
He gets the wrestling business.
He
He
does.
gets his role. He gets what he has to do.
Yep. And he's a part of one of my favorite ongoing jokes ever. It was once with CM Punk and once with Seth Rollins, where Seth Rollins is looking at someone, and I can't remember who it was, and then all of a sudden Logan's music hit, and you see Seth go to the guy, whose music is that? Which, my God, I cannot wait until Death Rebel's gone. I cannot wait. But yeah, it's gonna be a good match. It is, because AJ cannot move like how he used to, and the first person that will tell you that will be AJ Styles. He's openly said he can't do the spinal tap. He can barely do 450 sometimes. He's not what he used to be, but he's still one of the greatest.
He's almost 50 years old. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But he's still one of the best wrestlers in the world. And if you think otherwise, objectively, you are wrong.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not arguing I don't like him. He's my favorite. No, he is one of the best wrestlers to ever step into a ring, and I will die on that hill.
The only way, if you just don't like his style, that's the only way you can have objection to that, is if you don't like his style.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just he's another one of those people that just he understands the wrestling business forward and backward.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a good match. I don't know if it's exactly going to blow the doors off the place or it's just going to be good. They're going to do some ridiculous shit.
Yeah.
To look cool and all that. You're going to have someone get hit in the head with a Prime bottle at the hydration station.
Yeah. Some streamer that I've never heard of is going to be there.
Some streamer you've never heard of.
I didn't know who iShow Speed was until a few years ago, and I still don't really know anything about him.
I'm a streamer, and I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing that makes me have a little hope for AJ is I know Mike Tyson's in the area, so like, hey, maybe Mike Tyson will interfere and help AJ.
That would be the best.
Hey.
That would be
Come on, Mike.
That would be awesome.
You know.
Can you imagine if somehow the DX music hit and Mike comes out?
Yeah. But still, I'm unfortunately gonna go with douchebag Logan Paul. But give him the devil his due. I don't have to like him as a person. I don't have to, don't have to want to see him. But I'll say he gets it, and I'll say he has the ability. If he wasn't a piece of shit, it'd be great.
Yeah, you're not wrong. We'll go with that triple threat next. I legitimately don't know who to call wins that.
I think Punk wins.
Probably, but
I think Punk wins because I could also. I think Punk's going to get inserted into the title match the next night.
Oh, could be.
I think Punk win. I think that's. I mean, this might all be a moot point by the time SmackDown airs in an hour from when we're recording this.
Yep. You think that's?
I think that's the favor.
Okay.
I think he gets inserted into the match.
Okay. Could be.
Yep.
Could be.
So I think Punk wins this one. He gets inserted, and I think that's the next match we got to talk about, right? Is there anything else?
Not at the moment. Like I said, here's the thing. This is a problem AEW has, and they got a lot of shit for it. Now WWE is starting to have that same problem. We still don't know if the IC title and US title are going to be on this event. We still don't know if the women's IC or United States is going to be on this event. We still don't know if the women's tag teams are going to be on this event. We still
don't know if the men's tag teams
of all the tag
teams.
I
really hope at least the SmackDown men's tag teams are on there because I really want the Motor City Machine Guns to be on WrestleMania. I really want them to get that check off their list of their career. Yes. They got the tag titles in WWE. Get the WrestleMania. Let them be able to just ride out the rest of their career having the matches they're capable of, and
some of those titles just need to be on one title per promotion, or per brand, or that crosses over to both. But anyway, I'm gonna be honest with you. Cena should win this. In my opinion.
I think Cena will win it.
The only way I don't see him doing this is if they do the Summer of Punk horse shit and they have Cena walk out at his last pay-per-view at SummerSlam with the title.
Here's what I think. Here's how I would book it. Here's me. And I'm going to book it based on what can be good stories and make me money. If I could book it based on just what I want to see as a fan, Cody wins and continues to be dominant. But I'm going to. I think Cena wins this one. Yep. SummerSlam is his last pay-per-view, or is he?
I believe SummerSlam's his last honest-to-God pay-per-view.
Okay.
And I think there's a Ruthless Aggression pay-per-view or something they're going to do, I believe, just for Cena or something. I thought there was. But I think
so if
the last thing.
if he's not, if his last pay-per-view, if his last match will be at SummerSlam, then at Money in the Bank, I would have CM Punk, who I hate, beat him for the title at Money in the Bank. If he has matches post SummerSlam, I would have CM Punk win at SummerSlam. Either way, I'm killing myself on the inside by saying I would put the belt on CM Punk because I hate CM Punk. I think he's a douchebag. I think he is a hypocrite. I think he is many things I don't like about people I see in CM Punk. For all my NASCAR fans, he is liberal atheist Ty Gibbs that watch this.
Sure.
Okay, I'll give you a little context. Ty Gibbs is a NASCAR driver who drives dirty, and he's a spoiled brat, and he's a dick. But whenever he does something that's kind of shitty, when he egregiously wrecks someone for the win, he goes like, "I just want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ." Like, what? How do you respond to your criticism? Well, in the Bible it said Jesus was hated first, and like he'll say something like that, and then hide behind the Bible, which it's not exact. It's not a MAGA rally at a NASCAR race, but it kind of leans a little more conservative Christian than other fandoms.
Oh yeah,
100%. Like I said, it's more diverse than what people want to give it credit for. It's not a MAGA rally, but you have more conservative Christian people that go to NASCAR than that would a Comic Con.
Absolutely.
Okay, just for context.
100%.
So whenever CM Punk does something shitty, he's always posting posting about his feminism. He's posting free Palestine. He's posting about socialism. He's posting about like all the liberal views that are like, hey, why are you hating on me? Don't you know that I'm in support of all these issues? Like that's what CM Punk does. Whenever he gets called out for being an asshole, he's like, well, but immediately on Instagram, there's like a story about. Puts on a story something like that to where like people are like, well, hey, you can't hate on CM Punk. He said these things. It's like, okay, he said some good things, but doesn't make him less of a dick. Just like Ty Gibbs, like, yeah, it's great that he, reads the Bible, but it doesn't make him any less of a dick.
No. I know plenty of Christians who are assholes.
Yeah. So that's how I look at CM Punk is he's like the atheist version of Ty Gibbs, where he, hey, you're an asshole. Like, well, but I just want to take this time to talk about that. Trans rights are human rights. Like, yes, they are, and I'm very much with you, but that doesn't excuse your dickheadness. Like a week ago, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
But anyway, going back to the Punk wins the title. Cena's last match, he loses to Cody. There's the passing of the torch. Cena's final match. Cena goes out on his back against Cody.
Oh yeah, I don't see. Cena
and then you set up Punk and Cody for next year's WrestleMania.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's how I would, if I had the pencil and was actually trying to tell a good story, regardless of my feelings on somebody. That's what I would do.
Over under. At 70%, that Cena comes out on the very next Raw with a spinner version of that belt.
Oh, I'm taking the over.
I am going to explode.
And I will be okay with, and I would be okay with it if it happened.
I would love it. You know he's gonna do it. Either the best part is he's gonna do one of two things. He's either going to do it and be like disrespectful to the title, whatever, or he's gonna come back with the title and go, just like you didn't get new theme music, I'm not giving you a new title belt.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they probably would make a new title because they would sell that.
Oh, yeah.
So that's more likely.
But then again, like everybody likes talking about meta stuff. Like I think the John Cena stuff. I think this whole storyline's been really good, very meta.
Oh yeah,
A
absolutely.
lot of people get on their high horse if it should be this. No, I think it's great. It's great.
He hasn't lied about a single thing.
No.
They cheered when he had to go away and get surgery.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I think the whole everybody gets all nitpicks. It's like, okay, under the guise of your nitpicks, absolutely you're right. But also knowing what your favorite promotion is and you get butthurt at the nitpicks, maybe shut up.
Yeah. Like this
because when someone nitpicks the fuck out of that show, hey man, just enjoy the wrestling. Just enjoy the bangers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always compare. It's like AEW fans. I say they're the Marvel fans. They have their blog about how they're going to nitpick the fuck out of a DC book or a DC movie. And they already went into the movie like this. Oh, this gonna suck. And then they're like, okay, hey, you're right. If you want to be critical, you have some valid points. So in this Thor movie, here's the whoa, wait a minute. It was fun. You need to stop. We're having fun here. Okay, which is it? Which is it? Which is okay to be? Have fun or critical? Or is it have fun when this is on, be critical when this is on, because then I don't got much time for you. Which is why I listen to I talk to wrestling with 4 people now, you being one of them. 4 people that are not, my fiance, wife after this trip.
Nice.
And I watch I listen to 2 podcasts about the current state of wrestling. Yeah. So that's why I don't do it. But yeah, that's what we got as of this recording.
Like I said, it's probably gonna end up being Penta, Dom, and Finn versus Braun.
I really hope we got a 4-way ladder match for the SmackDown tag titles. Get the machine guns, get DIY, Pretty Deadly, and Street Profits. Get all them together.
Yeah, that'd be good.
You're probably gonna get Solo and Jacob Fatu.
Oh my gosh, I love Jacob Fatu.
Jacob Fatu is really he's a
so
breakout star of the year in 2025 already.
That was one of the things that ruined that Bloodline storyline. Solo is supposed to be the big important person, and he was the enforcer. And then Jacob Fatu showed up, and he could eat Solo Sikoa.
Yep.
And have room.
Yeah.
Jacob unintentionally ruined that whole storyline.
Chelsea Green probably gonna wrestle Michin or something
like that. Lyra, I have no idea.
Lyra and Bailey, maybe.
I don't know, man. That Intercontinental title for the women's has been such in the bleh lately.
Yeah.
I like Lyra, but there's points where I was really irritated during that. I have nothing against Lyra, but in my opinion, Dakota Kai should have won that belt.
Mm-hmm. You might get Jade and Naomi. Maybe.
Yeah, you're right. That's another one. That is another one. Which Jade is a WrestleMania person. She's just a freak of nature that can put on a good show always. So yeah, you're right there, 100%. That's gonna happen.
We will see in the respective videos that get edited in and addendums and everything how much of this comes true. This is a journey. This episode is a journey.
I might be
from the last few weeks of WrestleMania.
If you see an airport in the background, it's because I'm not here next week on a trip, so I might be recording videos of vlogs in an airport while I'm waiting to go to my trip with my family.
So this one's gonna be different. You've been warned. This is gonna be different.
It's gonna be fun though.
Oh yeah,
it'll be a good time.
All right. Well, that is the end of this section of it. So we're not gonna do a real an outro because fuck, we got more, man.
I don't know. Oh man.
But yeah. keep watching. Keep watching this video.
Yeah.
Keep watching this video, or if or I'll even just get it out here now. If the fucking editing software gets finicky like it does with videos taken on phones, keep tuned into the channel to watch these various videos I will be posting to my channel. Covered all my bases.
It'll work. Trust us.
We will get there. Just like me getting through 2 nights of WrestleMania, like I got through 8 hours of one in 2019. We will make it through.
God, I don't know how you could have done that. That blew.
I spent a lot of time walking around the stadium. That's how I did it.
I bet you did.
I spent a lot of time. Like, I wish I could like left. Like, they wouldn't let you leave the stadium and come back. Like, I wish I could like gone out. Like, and I don't smoke, but maybe like gone. Yeah, fresh air.
Like, I have no ass. My legs go numb if I sit for too long. So like thinking of sitting watching.
And I was on
I love.
Yeah.
8 hours couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine Samoa Joe.
I picked the match. I picked the match I didn't care about. I didn't care about Shane McMahon and The Miz. No disrespect, I didn't care about the women's tag belts. I didn't care about Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. I didn't care about Triple H and Batista, but like the match went so long, like I kind of had no choice but to watch some of it. I picked what I didn't care about and plan some breaks around it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so stay tuned.
Bye. Maybe.
So, as far as LA Knight and Jacob Fatu, I hope Jacob Fatu wins. It's likely going to be LA Knight, but that match is going to be great no matter what. And as far as Jade and Naomi goes, I kind of want Jade to win, but somehow think they might just try and justify her heel turn by making Naomi win. Jade is a WrestleMania event character, big known, yeah, and either way they can have her come back and need her win, so go either way, but I'm hoping Jade wins.
Yeah, as far as LA Knight and Jacob Fatu, Jacob needs to win that one. I feel like it won't hurt LA Knight to lose, and I definitely feel that Jacob could definitely do with this win. One thing I want to address is it is inexcusable for the SmackDown Tag Titles to not be defended, especially when you have teams, all the teams involved, Street Profits, Pretty Deadly, Motor City Machine Guns, DIY, and even Mello and Miz. Mello can't Miz, I guess. Yeah, it's just absolutely wrong for them not to be on this card. There's a lot of things in the discourse of this show that are being complained about that are rooted in just tribalism or, like I've said before, just folding your arms and going, I'm not going to like this anyway. It's not what I want. It's not exactly what I want. And, that just is what it is. It's the internet, for crying out loud. But, yeah, this part of the discourse, I absolutely agree with. There's a 3-hour pre-show. You couldn't do one of these matches on the pre-show? I don't know. I don't know. Thank you all for bearing with us in a messy version of what we had to do, but between his travel, my travel, and everything in between, this is just kind of the way we had to do it. Hopefully next year will be a little smoother, but thank you all for bearing with us, and we will see you next time.